at this, that how people take up this merger and acquisition. So merger and acquisition, it starts with denial, fear, anger, sadness, then acceptance, relief, interest, liking, and enjoyment. What does it mean? It means that initially when companies they do go for merger and acquisition, they do not want to accept it. They keep on denying the things, that they are not very sure about whether the merger and acquisition will take place or not. So they keep on denying. They do not want to accept the merger and acquisition. Then next one is fair. Once information is being passed to them that yes, our organization is going for whether it is a merger or acquisition, then comes the sense of fear, because employees whosoever is working in the organization now it becomes insecure about his job, about his position, about his power, which he is enjoying in the existing organization. And so that insecurity, it leads to anger. So it leads to anguish against the management or against the top management, and thus there comes a resistance for not accepting the merger and acquisition. Then once organization confirms that yes, we are going for mergers and acquisitions, so it comes with sadness. Now after there is resistance, there is anguish among the employees related to merger and acquisition, so it follows with the sadness. Now employees are not very happy because that fear and insecurity is still there, which leads to the sadness. Again, at this particular level, the role of HR is to very, herein, so that people accept the merger and acquisition. So role of HR becomes very important, crucial. Whether that is through communication, whether that is counseling, training and development, and all that. So sadness, when handled very well by HR, it becomes into acceptance. Again, acceptance may be wholeheartedly or half-heartedly. So again, when things are at place, organizations start to restructure and reposition, whether it is hierarchical structure or whether it is a power. So comes the sense of relief, that yes, now there is the relief. Then obviously it leads to the interest. Now employees in the new organization, in the new entity, they start showing interest. That means now they start working with the same zeal and passion which they were used to work in, say, organization which was existing before merger and acquisition. Then liking. Now after interest is generated, they start liking their organization, they start accepting their policies, and again start being more productive and efficient. And finally it is enjoyment. So this is basically a cycle through which an employee passes during M&A. So in this particular whole cycle, it is the job of HR which makes it comfortable, the journey of employee comfortable from denial till enjoyment. So talking about that, why we should be that much keen in taking care of our employees. So this we have already discussed, that what could be the reasons for merger and acquisition of a company. So there could be numerous reasons for companies to merge or acquire. These are very common: that dominance, economies of scale, channel control, cost cutting, synergies, defensive drivers, growth of world-class leadership and global reach, survival, critical mass, sales maximization, acquisition of cash, deferred taxes, and excess debt capacity, move quickly and inexpensively, flexible leverage, bigger asset base to leverage borrowing, adopt potentially disruptive technologies, financial gain and personal power, gaining a core competency to do more combination, acquiring talent, knowledge, and technology. There could be all these reasons for which a company might go for merger and acquisition. So we are not going into the details of the reasons for merger and acquisition. This is this is a slide which I wanted to show you just to give a brief about that why companies go for merger and acquisition. So basically what our point is that during merger and acquisition, why people are neglected. If we go by the research and surveys, we see that most of the mergers and acquisition, they possibly they possibly go through the each and every phase except taking care of their people. So initially when companies used to merge or acquire, go for acquisition, so people were neglected, HR was neglected. Why? What could be the possible reasons? That they are too soft and therefore hard to manage. That means they are very emotional, they are very because we are dealing with the human being, so it is the mind and emotions which we are managing, so it is very, very difficult to manage, so they used to leave this part. Lack of concern by top management for impact on employee unions and communities. Generally, what organizations believed or top manager believed when they went for merger and acquisition, that it is a financial, basically a financial movement or financial aspect of the organizations which is taking place. Therefore, they used to neglect the impact on employees, unions, and communities. They used to think about the structure, hierarchical levels, but not the impact on employees, how they will take it. Because ultimately, it is people who are going to accept your merger and acquisition and make your merger and acquisition successful. Then lack of awareness or consensus that people issue are critical. Because there was lack of concern by top management on the impact, so they hardly used to believe, analyze that because of the people, merger and acquisition might fail or might be, might not be very, very successful. So that was because of the lack of awareness on the top management side. Then no spokesperson to articulate these issues. Because HR department was not involved during the process of merger and acquisition, so there was no person on behalf of people to articulate these issues who could go and discuss that what could be the impact of merger and acquisition on employees and vis-a-vis success of merger and acquisition. Then no model or framework that can serve as a tool to systematically understand and manage people issues. We generally believe that what cannot be measured cannot be improved. So there was no systematic model. Top management failed to analyze the output of the impact, the adverse impact of employees on merger and acquisition. So as there was no systematic analysis, so it was neglected automatically. Then focus of attention in merger and acquisition activity is on either other activities such as finance, accounting, and manufacturing. As I was telling you that because of this factor, because entire focus during process of merger and acquisition went on finance, accounting, and manufacturing, thus neglecting the people. Therefore, it led to most of the mergers and acquisitions, they were unsuccessful because of all these reasons, right? Now, there could be people issue that, hello, yes, please.
मैम वो लास्ट स्लाइड फिर से दिखा दीजिए.
Yes.
Okay, मैम हो गया.
Now there are people issue that occur at several phases or stages of merger and acquisition activity. When we discuss phases of, right now we'll be, after this slide, we'll be discussing that there are various stages of, there are possibly 3 big stages of merger and acquisition. So that means at every phase, whether that is post-merger, pre-merger, or during merger, so there could be issues So what could be those issues? Retention of key talent. As we said that it starts from denial and then fear. So it becomes very, very challenging for management to retain key talent during merger and acquisition activity because of the fear and insecurity that emerges in the employees. Then communications. If it is not communicated properly that why organizations are going to merge, how it is going to impact productivity and growth of employees in the organization, again that is gonna to have a resistance from the people side. So this has to be handled. Retention of key managers. Now this is before and post merger. When we say retention of key managers, that means, for example, if company has announced merger and acquisition, now already in an existing organization, people might leave. That means before a merger and acquisition has taken place. Now after merger, even after merger, when your organization undergoes restructuring, people might leave. So retention of key managers, retention of key talent is overall organization. But when we talk of key managers, that means we are talking about the top leaders, leaders who actually are responsible for it, who make this thing happen. So before and post merger. Integration of corporate cultures, very, very important point. This is one of the biggest challenges and issues that companies face while this merger and acquisition. Integration of corporate cultures, because two different companies, they have got their own different cultures. One is organization culture, second is people culture. So both the cultures are different. So it is very important that you integrate both the cultures, whether that is the organization culture or people culture in the organization for merger. And the other day we were discussing example of Daimler and Chrysler, that because of the culture, a big failure in integration of corporate culture, it led to the demerger, and it was unsuccessful merger of Daimler and Chrysler. Now this is what is role of HR in 3-stage model of merger and acquisition. Now what is when organizations they go for merger and acquisition? The first stage is pre-combination. Second is combination and integration of partners. And third is solidification and advancement of new entity. So basically when we talk about say role of HR in 3-stage model of merger and acquisition, starting with pre-combination. So if we see pre-combination, that what exactly happens? There are certain issues and there are certain implications and actions. So in this pre-combination stage, most significant HR issue and their specific implication, which possibly are there, you can, if you see the slide, it is visible in the slide, that identifying reasons for merger and acquisition, and then forming M&A team leader, searching for potential partners, selecting a partner, planning, then planning for managing and process of merger and acquisition, and planning to learn from processes. So as important HR issue in pre-combination stage is in any merger and acquisition activity, which is identifying reasons to initiate the activity, because until and unless your employees are very, very aware about that why this merger and acquisition is taking place, your employees are not going to accept it, and therefore it will lead to losing your key talent. If we go by the examples of like Cisco, GE, so retention of key talent was seen a big issue in these merger and acquisitions. So now what are the implication and actions which are related to this pre-combination? So as immediate HR implication of this issue is that firms that have a better understanding and knowledge base of merger and acquisition, processes are likely to be more successful in their merger and acquisition. That means knowledge and understanding. Fine, it is at the top management, but it needs to be disseminated to the lower level also. To each and every employee, information should be there that what exactly is gonna to be outcome of this merger and acquisition. So this understanding and knowledge base needs to be however shared and disseminated to employees to have maximum impact, because M&A activity is likely to affect everyone in the company. Companies, no employee can be there is least possibility that employees are not affected by merger and acquisition in general. So it is very important that leadership, whosoever is leading, it has to be very, very comfortable. Leader has to be very, very very, very accommodating when it comes to the securing needs and actions of his subordinates, because employees at this stage, pre-combination stage, are already in the stage of denial. They are already in a stage of fear. So your leader, his role becomes very, very crucial during this pre-combination phase. Then it is that significant HR implication, they result from the need to have a dedicated and skilled leader and team for merger and acquisition, because resistance has to be managed. For managing resistance, there has to be composition of team who understands requirements, who understand the insecurities which is there in employees. So this need is likely to be best served through the best use of variety of HR practices working in concert. It could be recruitment, selection, development, appraisal, and all that. So in this pre-combination stage, basically your leadership, your team has a very, very important role to play, so as to make employees informed, well informed, and comfortable. Now we have second stage, that is combination and integration of companies. When we talk now, let us suppose that your organization has informed your employees about the merger and acquisition. Now this stage, it incorporates a wide variety of activities. Basically, integration is the process by which two companies combine after a merger or an acquisition is announced. Now pre is that you have identified the partner with whom you are going to merge, or the company which is being acquired. So that is pre. Now combination is when everything has been decided, everything has been it is being well understood by both the companies which are going for merger or which is being acquired. So now it is announced and activities are completing. So at this particular stage also, we have certain issues and how those issues should be dealt by HR person. So under this stage, if integration of the companies is not processed or is not done in a very smooth manner, research says that during this particular phase, productivity drops most probably by 50%. That means if combination is not right, so production will decrease by 50%. So it is very important that you select the integration manager, you design the implementing teams, create new structures, strategies, and then make strategies for retaining key employees. Keep motivating your employees. Change process. Managing change process is basically managing resistance, which is very, very crucial at this particular stage. Then communication and deciding on HR policies and practices, because now all previous HR policies and practices won't be workable at this particular phase. So you need to decide upon HR policies and practices. So all acquisition, they require some degree of integration in both the area. It may be day-to-day systems and processes in achieving key synergies. Synergy is when both the companies are merging together and giving something very, multiplicative force. multiplicative output, because that is why organization is going for merger or acquisition. So it is important to customize that what is integrated and how it is done to the specific strengths and weaknesses of the acquired company. You cannot just go for merger or acquisition without analyzing your strengths and weaknesses and strengths and weaknesses of the other company. So integration efforts will differ depending on the company's characteristics, and maintaining the ability to focus on few value drivers, which is very, very critical part of integration process. And if we see the HR implication, that how this should be dealt by HR persons, so selecting the appropriate candidate. Now, which candidate we are talking about? It is for the integration manager, who is gonna to help you in integration of two companies. Then selecting team design and selection are critical for transition and combination success, because here also again your employees are very, very insecure. So it is very important that retention of acquired company leaders. Mind it, I have said acquired company leaders. So what your objective should be, that you need to retain talent of both the organization if it is the merger, right? Then retaining total per employees. One is retaining leaders or top management when it is merger. Second, it is retaining all employees. That means one is retention of leaders or key talent, and second is retention of all employees, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind, and this is what you it should be at the priority level at this integration phase. Then achieve business goals. What you have achieved goals before, say, merger and acquisition, and what you are going to achieve after merger and acquisition. That is very, very important. So it is very important to have an integration manager to focus exclusively on the particular acquisition or merger. That means who is dedicatedly doing this process only. He is not focusing on any other work, but on integration phase only. So integration manager, basically he provides continuity between the deal team, that means deal which happens between the two companies, and management of the new company. So decisions about management structure, key roles, reporting relationships, layoff, restructuring, and other career affecting aspects of the integration, they should be made and announced and implemented. Now listen, as soon as possible after the deal is signed. That means after the deal is signed between two companies, it becomes very, very important to make decisions about structure, reporting relationships, that who will be reporting to whom, layoffs if it is required, restructuring, obviously it would be required because two companies are merging, and other career affecting. So you need not to wait, because the more you wait, more will be the anxiety among the employees, then it will lead to more higher insecurities, thus it will lead to losing key talent or your employees of organization. So HR need to create policies and practices for learning and knowledge sharing. So it should help to ensure that knowledge and learning are shared across units, and HR policies and practices and reward sharing, they should be made very, very clear with the employees. And third stage is that, which is last stage, is solidification and assessment. Solidification means now everything has been solidified. That means everything has been now everything is at its place. That means now employee is moving from say now interest wala that point which we discussed, that now he has accepted that merger and acquisition has taken place. Now he is very much, he's trying to take it comfortably because communications are clear, his interests are secured, and so it is leading to solidification. So particularly for an acquisition with high levels of inclusion, there should be a clear there should be a clear and specific role of the new entity, because in merger and acquisition, in merger we have a new entity which is being created. So it should be very it should be informed very clearly to the employees that what the new entity would be and what would be the goals and objectives of the entity. um, for example, when Daimler and Kressel they went for merger and acquisition, there were almost 15 to 20 issues that were addressed several times during the entire phase of this solidification and assessment. So that means you cannot just sit back and say that now we are entering into solidification phase, that now employees are trying to accept it and now it is okay. No, until and unless your employee starts enjoying again in the new entity, you just have to ensure that processes are smooth, right? So what are now HR implication and actions? Leadership and staffing of the new entity are essential. That means now you are looking after the leadership and staffing of new entity, which is very important. So before, what it existed, and in the new organization what it will be, it has to be clearly communicated to your employees. Creating and evaluating new structure. Now because we have a new entity, so we have a new structure at the place. Then melding two cultures needs assessment revision, which I said that, which is very important point, that you cannot overlook the culture. So you need to mold and meld two cultures, and then they need to be assessed whether they are, because it normally it is very difficult to have melding of two cultures. So you need to assess whether the cultures have merged or not. The concern of all stakeholders need to be addressed and satisfied. And the new entity must learn. Learn means it has to be into a learning organization. That what new challenges and what new capabilities and skills need to be developed in order to succeed as a new entity is what is required in this solidification and assessment. So this was all about your what I say, mergers and acquisitions, role of HR in mergers and acquisition.